most powerful strategy to reprogram your mind has got nothing to do with the mind itself. The piece about it is that you need to know that the mind is run by the commands of the nervous system. The nervous system, it's like a car. Like, if you think about a car, okay? And what happens with a car is people are working on the engine. They keep working on the engine and they take forever and ever reprogramming the mind, which is like the engine. But what if you've reprogrammed the key, the mind would automatically take that program and run with it. That's how it's done. Now, there's something really cool about this. See, I don't know how many hours and months and years and money that you put into reprogramming your mind, okay? Using your mind to reprogram. It's like a double-edged sword. And I'm saying it's a totally different way. So let's go to something that will explain it so easily. A phobia. Like, I work with incredibly successful, one of the top well-known CEOs in Canada. Do you know the phobia that he had? Here he is, 45 years of age, as healthy as can be, and if you walked in a room with a blown-up balloon, he'd freak out and he'd be gone. Now, does that make any sense? That's the mind. That's the mind. But guess what? It was triggered by an external stimuli, in this case, a balloon. Okay? And that's what got the mind racing. So trying to reverse the mind with the mind is trying to get a drink of water using a strainer. And every once in a while, you'll have somebody come along that's really so wanting to change it that they will get duct tape and duct tape the strainer. And then it gets gradually over time, you know, the mold and everything builds up on the duct tape and finally it'll hold. But I'm talking about this. Do you know that a phobia is created in a second? And it's repeated for a lifetime if you don't change it? Now, I've been doing this for a long time. Okay? And it's exactly how it happens. And guess what? That takes absolutely no longer than 1 second to create. That's what I'm talking about. 1 second. And then you use this program, you know, whatever that is, whatever you're going to use, to say this when it happens, or do this when it happens, or just don't let it distract you, or whatever. And that ain't it. That is not it. What you do, and I've spent time reverse engineering phobias and near-death experiences to figure out how this gets done. And that's what I do. I find that one piece. And let's say in this guy's case, he was 3 and his mom had a birthday party for him. And all his friends were there. And he blew up the balloon and it collapsed. And for that nanosecond thought he was going to die from the smothering. And that's what created it. And he kept recreating that over and over for 42 years. 42 years. And then all his programs and patterns were tied into that event and the beliefs that he got from that experience. And the decisions he made from that experience. How crazy is that? So trying to do something with the mind by using the mind is a very arduous, difficult process. But by reversing it the same way it was created, which is neurological, now you're talking magic. Now you're talking miracles. Because as quick as it was created, it can be resolved as quick. Yes, the key is, what is it? What's driving it? All of those things. And so I don't ever look at symptoms other than a puzzle. Oh, you just did 100,000 piece puzzle and you got your right ear on your left knee. Well, I automatically know that you don't have, you should not have your right ear on your left knee. It's not how it works. And so I trace it neurologically back to its origin. And in the same amount of time it was created, I reverse the process. And guess what happens to the mind? And guess what happens to the symptoms? Let's do the symptoms first. They instantly dissolve, like pricking a balloon. Yes, and boom! All the behaviors go with it. Other than the ones that we have an emotional attachment to and want to keep. Yeah, that's the other thing. Now it's become my identity. I was laughed at or I was ridiculed. Yes. Or I'm all of those beliefs. And you have to look at those all together. And then when you pluck the balloon, it makes perfect sense. And all of those symptoms just fall by the wayside. That's how you reprogram the mind. So, check me out at transformwithdonn.com. Donn with 2 N's. Find out more.